Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. I hope you enjoy. The Human Psyche is Lethal, written by Balkoth661. Officer Glethorpe sat down at the table in the interrogation room. On the other side of the table sat a human, a relatively new species to the Galactic Society. Until recently, only diplomatic missions had left their space. With the signing of the recent trade deal, however, regular humans were now occasionally seen, especially around spaceports. It was only a matter of time before one of them got into some kind of trouble. Unfortunately for Glethorpe, it appeared that he had caught the first case. "So, I believe your name is Mike Thurleson. Is that correct?" he asked, after turning on the translator and recording apparatus fixed to the table. "Yes." "Just to confirm for a second, you are originally from the Luna 6 colony in the Sol system, here on business as part of a crew of a trading vessel making bank." The human nodded. "Please confirm verbally for the recording apparatus." "Yes." "Thank you, Mr. Thurleson. Do you know why you are here?" "Yeah. It's about the fight at Grebos." "It is, Mr. Thurleson. Would you care to explain what happened in your own words?" "We were having a drink to celebrate closing a deal with a major corp." "This would be the Untiller Corporation, yes?" interrupted Glethorpe. "Yeah, that's them. Anyway, we were having a drink to celebrate when this bug-looking guy walked up to us, and he says something like, 'Your kind aren't welcome here.'" "This would be Mr. Deacher of Vorlex, yes?" "Didn't know that was his name, but yeah, he was a Vorlex," Mike continued. "Anyway, we all look at him and ask what he means. We picked Grebos because it was the closest bar to our landing pad and served human-compatible drinks. He tells us that soft skins like us aren't welcome. It's about this point that we notice that there's another 6 or 7 Vorlex coming through the crowd to back him up. So we all look at each other and Dave, our purser, says, 'Okay, we'll finish up our drinks and go. There's no need for any fuss.'" "So an attempt was made to de-escalate the situation?" Glethorpe asked, making a note on his pad. "Yeah, look, we're merchant spacers. We're not marines. We try to avoid trouble. It's generally bad for business," Mike stated. "Understood, Mr. Thurleson. Please continue. You had just described your purser's offer to leave once you had finished your drinks." "Yeah, so, the first Vorlex looks up at Dave and says, 'No, you're leaving now.' Then he tries to grab Dave's shipsuit collar. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but humans are about twice as heavy, size for size, as most sapiens. We're heavy wielders." Glethorpe nodded and gestured to continue. That information had indeed been in the short information packet, which was all the prep he had had time for before this interview. "So the Vorlex tries to lift Dave, but it doesn't work. He strains, and Dave doesn't budge. It was kind of funny to watch. Then Simon goes and snorts, trying to keep from laughing." Mike stops for a moment, slaps his hand over his face and sighs. "Feckin' greenie. It's his first cruise, and he hasn't quite learned yet how to calm situations like that down. Anyway, all 7 or 8 of these Vorlex look like they took offense to that, especially the first one. I'm guessing he was the boss, and didn't like the loss of rep that he would get from someone laughing at him like that. So, he pulls a blade." Glethorpe looks up and furiously scribbling notes on his pad. "He definitely had a weapon?" he asks. "Yeah, it looked like a knife. Blade looked about 15 centimeters long, slightly curved, a bit of a reverse hook on the end." Glethorpe quickly looked up the measurement conversion, then pulled out an image on his pad. He showed the image to Mike. "Did it look like this?" "Yeah, that's what it looked like." "Let the record show that Mr. Thurleson identified the weapon in question as a Vorlexian Cheshka blade," he said for the benefit of the recording device. "Please continue, Mr. Thurleson." "Okay, so we didn't want any trouble, but once blades came out, it means someone is serious about hurting or killing. At that point, you need to end the fight fast. So we all looked at each other, then we jumped him. Dave took down the guy with the knife and straight lunged to the torso, then broke the guy's arm over his shoulder so that he dropped the knife. After that, it was just a melee. Gets a bit confusing. Up till the part where security team came in and zapped us all with shock batons. Don't really remember clearly what happened with the rest of the fight. Glithorpe finished making his notes, then looked Mike in the eyes. So you are claiming that it was preemptive self-defense, that you all acted as you did to protect yourselves from the threat posed by the blade. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Very well, Mr. Thurleson. Your testimony matches with the rest of your crews. Unfortunately, Mr. Deacher and his associates tell a rather different story. They claim that you and your crew mates were aggressive and threatening, and when they politely asked you to leave, you attacked. Unfortunately, the visual recording devices at Grebos seem to have suffered a malfunction. This isn't the first time that they had that issue, but it means that we don't have anything to corroborate either side's claims. That's just peachy. So it's our word against theirs, and I'm willing to bet that the other customers are backing them up. Undoubtedly they would, if we were willing to use their testimony. However, it is well known that they are all associated with Mr. Deacher, in one way or another. This leaves us with only one way to resolve the situation, a psychic probe. Would you be willing to submit to this in order to prove your claims? Mike frowned, looking uncertain. Is it safe? Of course it is, Mr. Thurleson. It is a widely used technique. You will be at no risk. Nah, it's not me. I can't remember, but I think there was something about the briefing packet about you guys out there reacting badly to psychic contact with humans. Something about our brains attacking you. Mr. Thurleson, I'm a Class 5 adept, I assure you. There is nothing your untrained mind can do to mine. Class 5 is the second highest adept rating available. The procedure will be perfectly safe. Mike frowned at the table for a bit longer, thinking. If you're sure, man, as long as it's safe. Very well, then. Glithorpe put his pad aside and reached out with his fine manipulator arms to place a manipulator on either side of Mr. Thurleson's head. Close your eyes and think about the events that Grebos. I will do the rest. As Mike followed his instructions, Glithorpe took a breath and began. From the outside, nothing happened for a couple of seconds. Then Glithorpe convulsed, throwing himself back in his chair, which toppled over. He landed on the floor and continued to convulse. Mike stood and ran around the table, falling to his knees beside the officer. Help! Someone get in here and help! The screen turned to black, and Instructor Dreammore turned to the class. This recording is shown to every graduating class of enforcement officers across the Galactic Society. This is done as a warning. If you encounter a human in the course of your duties, under no circumstances should you initiate any form of psychic contact. As you have seen, even a level 5 adept barely survived such contact with an individual human regarded as mentally healthy. Most human criminals suffer from some form of mental health issue, as do most criminals generally. This makes the issue worse. Another other class raised a manipulator. Yes, Cadet. Instructor, what caused Officer Glithorpe's seizure? Do humans have some kind of innate psychic shielding? No, they do not. Their psychic abilities are purely offensive, unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, given their sheer potency of their abilities. They are entirely focused inwards. Human minds are constantly undergoing psychic attack, and not just any psychic attack. It is the strongest known psychic attack ability in the galaxy. If you make psychic contact with the human mind, you will also be caught in the effects. The less well-adjusted the individual human, the stronger the attack. Humans with mental health issues have been known to kill level 6 adepts instantly on psychic contact. No known shielding method is sufficient to protect you. We give this warning to every class, and in every class there is some idiot that thinks, I'll be fine. They aren't. And every year, at least one family loses a loved one because they thought that they could handle psychic contact with a human. Don't be that guy. Record excerpt from Enforcement Officer Training, Job Hazards 101, graduating class 5E357. Of this class, Officer Needip and Bleeron were lost to psychic contact with humans. End of story. I would quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and Patreons. Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Barky, Lord Azrakal, It's Difficult to Pronounce, Dragzoon WRE, Holly's Sister, Arcadian. Thank you very much.